Is there a question?
Any questions?
Mr. Little, you mentioned the issue of health insurance, and we've heard from the current Attorney General there's been pass-throughs ignoring the rate increases that have been proposed by the nonprofit Blue Cross and, of course, the for-profit United Health. We're all seeing the impact individually, businesses, even governments, to try to keep health coverage for their employees. How do you propose to use the powers of the Attorney General's office to bring in and rein in those increases in health insurance costs?
3 ways, at least 3 ways. The first way is in the rate proceeding itself. As you will see in this current proceeding in dealing with the direct pay customers of Blue Cross, the Attorney General rolled over. He stipulated to 9.5% increase, which the original hearing officer then looked at and said, I don't have a choice when both parties to my proceeding have said they agree with the facts and they agree with the conclusion. But the insurance commissioner said, you're wrong. So the insurance commissioner, even there, with that record, said I can force down a reduction, which he did, another 3%. So the first part of it is the enforcement at the rate setting process. And basically, in that particular proceeding, one of the issues is the failure even to have an independent actuary who could testify as to what they were entitled to. Instead, it was acceptance. So that's the first part. The second part is the broader mission of the insurance commissioner, which is to drive down the cost. If you look at the statute that says what is the role of the insurance commissioner is to look at affordability. It is also to look at, obviously, the sustainability of the insurance systems. And so the insurance commissioner has the ability, through the advocacy of the Attorney General, to be taking steps that over the long term will start to reduce our care. One of the things that one learns through public health is that if we increase the supply of primary care doctors, there will be greater access to people, and people tend to be healthier, thereby not needing the healthcare system as much. That results in lower costs. That's really kind of a fundamental public health tenet 101. We're not doing that in Rhode Island. Instead, we have a rate climate that chases primary care docs to Massachusetts and to Connecticut because they get paid a lot more for doing the exact same thing, and so they can't follow through with you. And so if you happen to go to a doctor's office and the doctor gives you a blood test, and they never know whether you followed through or not, do they? Until you come back, because they're still doing 50 cases a day in order to try to get by on this reimbursement rate. So the reimbursement process is a very, very important element that the Attorney General has that statutory authority to be involved in. A third big issue is this Healthcare Conversion Act, the merger of the hospitals. Huge power in the Attorney General here, and it will do an awful lot. If we allow a merger to go through and it destroys our community health care system, our costs are going up.
Thank you.
It is a lack of advocacy on the part of the Attorney General that has caused this situation to occur. As many are aware, there was a request by Blue Cross for an increase in direct pay rates. In other words, people who buy their insurance directly from Blue Cross, to increase those rates to 10.2%. The Attorney General, you going through their office, and they have an advocate that is supposed to actually come up with make sure that those rates are justified, hires an outside expert, and then relies upon that to bring to the insurance commissioner the advice of what they think the rate should be. Regrettably, however, that we had the Attorney General come back and suggest that the appropriate rate was 9.5%. So we went from a 10.2% increase request by Blue Cross, and RAG came back at 9.5. Would you hire that kind of insurance agent, that kind of a real estate agent? You know, they go in, they see the sale price of the house, the seller is asking $289,000, and your real estate agent goes in and offers $288,000, and that's supposedly a good deal. So we need an advocate, and I think that the problem is that this Attorney General and many others that are lining up to run on the other side are in the pockets of Blue Cross, as well as many of other special interests that come before the Attorney General. Whether that's Blue Cross, or whether that's the utility companies, or your cable industry. If you look at the fundraising sheets of this Attorney General and of other people that are raising money, you will see Blue Cross, you will see the utilities coming before it time and time again donating to these candidates. I'm not going to take money from the decision makers of Blue Cross. I'm not going to take money from the PUC. I intend to be an independent Attorney General who is an advocate for the people of Rhode Island and not the special interests. We've got to keep those rates low. It's driving businesses out. They now want an increase of 11.5% and 14.5% for businesses. 11.5% for the, 11.4% for the small businesses and the higher amount for large businesses. I know small business owners. In fact, the printer that I use for my very materials has 4 employees. And what he tells me is that his rates have gone up over $10,000 just last year alone. He's faced with a crushing and mounting situation of both Blue Cross looking for a rate increase, the electrical companies looking for a rate increase, unemployment taxes going higher. I'm not going to let that happen as Attorney General. I'll make them prove that they need it, and I'll make them prove that they need it before they get their $150 million Taj Mahal that they built and want you to pay for.
Next question, please.